Hello dear parents. Hello my African brothers and sisters. Now I need to show you some extra things. Again, I'm only dealing with P4 material. Okay? Science. Now, science is the study of living things and non-living things. Okay? So for a P4 child, if we're going to teach science to someone who is in primary school, I think that the science should be dealing with the child directly, first of all. Okay? The child should know how to take care of themselves. By the time they are becoming 9, a child should fully know how to take care of themselves, how to groom from hair all the way to their feet. Okay? Now, I want to first show you something, then we talk about it. This is the ear. Those are parts inside the human ear. Okay? The human ear. Then, this is the human eye. This is the eye, the inside of the human eye. Those are the parts that your child, your 9-year-old, is drawing this and naming this in exams. Now, first of all, it's not fair. It's not even logical at all that a child who is 9 years old can be learning the inside of the eye. It is not in any way logical. In any way you try and think about it, it makes no sense whatsoever that this information is in a child's book. In a child's book. This information should not be in any child's book. Even those who are 10, even those who are 12, this information should not be in their books. It is wrong for it to be there. Okay? If a 9-year-old should be learning anything about the eye, they should be learning how to take care of their eyes. They should be learning what good foods are good for their eyes. They should be learning how easy it is to find those foods. Because you see, some of these children can influence their parents. If the child knows that ABC is good for the eyes, okay? When they go shopping, that child will remind the mother or the father about getting those foods which are good for their eyes. This is what we should be telling the child. We should be telling the child that watching too much TV is not good for you. Why? Because it does this and this to your eye. Okay. We should be telling the child that if you want to see well into your 80s and 90s, you want to have good vision until you're old, this is what you need to eat, this is what you need to do. There are, by the way, also exercises for eyes. I don't know if people know this. This is why we have the internet. We have access to so much information today that this is why I don't understand why we choose to use the same books left by people 50, 70 years ago. We have access to information. Any information that we want to know about how to take care of our eyes and our ears and what we can eat and what we can do and how to clean them, how to maintain them, all this information is available on the internet. But we choose to get books that were left by the same people that suppressed us, okay, that destroyed our culture, that are still trying to destroy us, because we can see what is happening in Congo, okay? We take the same information these people left for us. And what we do year after year, instead of actually changing the information, what we do, we get the books, we get what was on chapter 9, we put it in chapter 4, we get what was in chapter 8, it becomes chapter 2, and such. Then we behave like we have made a new book. We have not. We have not. Unless we change the material. Shifting it from one book to another doesn't make any change. I used to learn this information in S3, the eye, the ear. Now it's being learned in P4, meaning that somebody just shifted the information that we used to learn in secondary school and brought it down to primary school. And they felt they had done their work. This is not work. This is not work. People that are in the ministries of education, you need to seriously sit down and get people to build a new system for us, for our children. A system that enables them to become individuals that are proud to be Africans, that makes them proud individuals to live in society, that are productive, not giving them information that is dumbing them down, that is consistently, the child has to, imagine a P4 child, has to remember parts of the ear, the eye, the muscles of the arm, the legs, the skeleton from head to toe, by the way. Okay? This is before going to name the butterfly, the chicken intestines, the snake's digestive system, the frog. You look at all that useless information. By the way, each of those is a topic. That is a topic. This is information that people are paying for. And people who are paying are behaving like for them their work is to pay. We have to change this information system. There is no way around it. For as long as we're using the white man's education, we are still colonized. We are still being colonized. And we should not be flabbergasted and shocked that our children have strange behaviors. How can they not? How can they not? You never even decided what they studied. Someone else decided. So how can you be surprised that they have behaviors which are not African? You know, I see African leaders complaining that those behaviors are not African. Like the other day, the president of Uganda was saying he cannot allow homosexuality because it's not an African behavior. Of course it's not. But if your children are learning, still using materials left by a colonialist, how many years ago, how can he not become a homosexual? How can he not become? We are giving children information that is coming from people who have behaviors that we are not African. But we are continuing to give them this information. Why? Why? How can we say we are educated if we cannot make our own thing? Are we even educated? Are we? You're educated. You can't create your own. You're using the person who came to colonize you. You're using their education. And then you're complaining that your children are behaving like them. Of course they are. Of course they are. You never took the time to make your own so that your children can follow what is yours. What does a child need to learn parts of inside the ear for? The child only knows this as the ear. Do they know anything about inside there? Should they be concerned? When a child gets an ear infection and you call the doctor says, take them, bring them. Okay? So why do we learn these parts that we will never use? It's not like learning the parts ensures that when the child gets sick, I can know that it's the eardrum, it's this that is sick, so I can do this and save the child, and also save that money that has to go to hospital. No. So why do I have to know inside the ear and the parts which are there and what they are called? And is it even true that those are the names? So what the white man decides that are the names of parts of inside the ear, that's what we should go by. So the white man had time to name the eye, so that the African child can learn it. Why? The child needs to know if your eye feels like this, tell your mother or tell your father so that they can go to hospital. If your eye feels like this, it's because there is this and this happening. Eat this. If your eye feels like this, it means you're not cleaning properly. If your eye feels like, those are things we need to tell the child. We need to tell the child so that they're able to identify if there's something wrong with their ears or their eyes. Identify. Know that if you're feeling this way, this is what's happening. But you're telling them the parts of the ear. Why? And what those parts do. And the child has to carry the burden of naming complicated things inside the ear that they don't see. When they don't yet know what to do with their nails, they can't even clip their own nails properly. A 9-year-old doesn't clip their nails properly, most of them today. African children don't know anything in actual sense. And the more modern the African is, the worse the children are. The more ignorant the children are. How is it? How is it that for you, you're rich, you have managed to have money, but your kids, they can't bathe themselves, they can't tie their shoelaces, they can't dress themselves up, but then they know how to name the frog, and you're feeling that you're important. Apparently in Africa, the more ignorant you are, usually the richer your parents are. Let me tell you, if we do not change, and for me, I'm only here as I'm a teacher. There's not much I can do except to tell you, and for me as a teacher, because for me I'm educated as a banker. But I believe that the African spirit brought me into education because I was going to be able to see these things and talk about them. So many teachers see these things and they keep quiet. You know why? Because every time we tell our bosses about these things and we ask, they tell us that if you can't teach, you go, will find someone else. So we cannot tell our bosses about this. Okay? So us, teachers, we are saying that parents, you have more power than us to make a change because you're the ones who are working in these ministries. So parents who are in the Ministry of Education, okay? Please, do us the favor, do the next generations a favor. Do the right thing. Actually do the right thing. Okay? You have the resources. We can start something of our own. Let's do something that is ours, that is for our children. Okay? Yeah, that's what I was here to show you today. Have a good day.